JKL Bowling School Committee meeting, fiduciary committee meeting. It is 9:03 a.m. on December 9th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Tyler LaPlante. Bridget Sorensen. Here. Lana Cosley-Smith. Kimberly Gravel.
Here.
Kimberly Hampton.
Here.
Larry Barbeau.
Here.
Kimberly Lee. Austin Lowe's. Michael McCurchie.
Here.
Rob McRory.
Here.
Aaron Paymont.
Here.
Sean Borowitz. Isaac McKechnie.
Here. So we have a quorum, and on the agenda, we have meeting minutes from 11/4/25, school reports, JKL Bawading Anishinaabe School, high school update, Malcolm High School, Sioux Tribe Education, under new business, 2026 meeting calendar, and approving high school expansion plan. Financials, closed session requests, committee comments, and adjournment. Do I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Got a motion and support. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the minutes from 11/4/25.
Motion.
Support. Got a motion and support. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. School reports. Carolyn.
Manokajab, good morning. Thank you for having me today. I see high school update is first, and so I've given you a draft plan that included the concept of the school, that we would start with 9th grade. That's called the matriculation process, and how the kids will be chosen, which will be by lottery, per Michigan law. Also includes community and stakeholder engagement, cultural perspective, local partners and resources, as well as a budget and a kind of a skeleton schedule. The only updated portion, or something that has changed, is the budget estimate. Now that it's closer, I was able to kind of reframe and capture more specifics about budgets and revenues, looking at the current 8th grade and doing best guess. We're looking at about $565,667. This is on page 11 of the plan. And then expenditures would be $541,248. So coming in with a budget to the good. Are there any questions that I can answer for any of you today?
Questions for Carolyn?
I did bring additional copies in case you didn't have it. I've brought it prior, but just in case, so yes. I also made copies of the presentation, which I made a couple months ago.
Thank you.
Carolyn, just to clarify, the plan that you bring us a couple months ago, all you did was pare the numbers down there so they're more realistic.
Correct. That is the only change.
Thank you. Aaron.
So for the benefit of the people that are online and the parents that are in the audience, I'm glad that you guys are here. Some of our stellar students, their parents here, is our original plan was to include K through 12. I did the original environmental scan to find out from Sioux Tribe members whether they wanted our own school system, and they did. In our original application, it was overwhelming too, at like 82%. That environmental scan is attached to the BI, or to the application that we submitted when we first submitted our application, and it included a high school. For a number of years, the BIE resisted the notion of expansion to a high school, partially because there's a moratorium on new schools, and that's been in place since, I think, 2 years after we formed our school. We also received charter funding from the state, and Northern Michigan is our chartering entity, and they strongly support expansion as well. One of the things that we talked about before the pandemic, when it was more theoretical, was eventually including expansion to serve tribal members or students, let's say broadly students, that are in other units as well. Because we have the same challenge across all units with, we have the highest rates of high school dropout, Native American students. And so the question of what's in it for me is down the road, we do have conceptual approval from both our chartering entity, and that would be Casey, and then also Tony Dearman, the director of the BIE, to reach out to those tribal members and other units where they're not succeeding and where the education system's not serving them, basically. So down the road, I hope that this is part of our plan, but I understand we have to get up and started. We have to prove ourselves. The other thing is we are in a unique situation. Tribes across the country cannot open a new school, and they can't expand schools because of that moratorium. Because we found the original language in our application, we have the green light, and actually we are receiving the funding right now. The funding that we receive is supporting Malcolm, which I think is a wonderful thing. We agreed to that. And what we clarified at the last 2 meetings in a row is that this proposal does not in any way threaten Malcolm School, because we support Malcolm and the unique services they provide. We support their principle and the focus and attention on our tribal members in those school systems. So this will supplement our overall approach. It's a long time coming. You know, we're 30 years down the road where we promised we would do a high school. And the initiation of it this last time came from our students, which was really exciting because they got together, they said, you know, for whatever reason why you guys haven't moved forward, here's our proposal. And they came and they presented to you guys and then presented to us. So we have the funding, we have the resources. Once we have enrollment, we will also have the revenue. And so there's always a question with school expansion on whether or not you're going to be able to attract students, because the students are, you know, money in the bank. Each student represents, that sounds kind of crass, but each student represents a student allocation. And for us, it's both the BIE ICEP allocation, and it's also a state charter allocation. So we receive essentially twice as much revenue. Also, because of our high need for our population, we receive title funding probably at a disproportionately high level compared to other school systems. So we are poised for this. We will work hand in glove with Malcolm and supporting Malcolm, and finally give our students the option to matriculate through high school graduation. We do a great job prepping our students, and then when they end up going to the public schools, they don't have the same system that we have. No slight on them, but we want our students to be maximally successful when they finish high school, so they're ready for either college or employment or vocational education. So this is a long time coming. It's a dream that we committed to as a tribal nation in 1992. So I hope that we have unanimous support for going forward. Thank you.
Mike, then Kim.
Well, Isaac, can I get put on the list too? I'm having trouble finding the raise hand button.
It just got stated that there would be no effect on Malcolm, and I don't know if I fully 100% agree with that. We haven't got a legal opinion on it because we do have an agreement with Sioux Area High School to teach our 9th and 10th grade students, our students under the BIE. So then we're going into another agreement and having a separate 9th grade. I don't see where we can do both. The agreement right now is for 2 years. I thought we did that agreement as a whole, knowing that we were going to go down this path, but we weren't ready to go down this path, so we maintained that agreement. And now I'm being told something else, that we can do both. And I have not heard any legal saying we can do both. I think we could potentially jeopardize funding if we try to say we're doing both. It's ICEP dollars. We're in an agreement saying that we're agreeing that our students are being taught at Sioux Area. So it's going to change that agreement. And we're sitting here saying it's not, but I have never seen any analysis yet. I thought we agreed on doing that agreement for 2 years because we knew we wanted to go this spot. Everybody knows we want a high school. Everybody, all the members know it. We all want a high school. We weren't simply ready for it. And then we're using a plan, and I'm glad we got the update. I'm glad we got updated numbers. The building, and then is in question. I've been told that we've got an agreement on the building somewhere, but we haven't discussed it as JKL, what building it was going to be. And I don't know if one admin and 2 teachers and 2 paraprofessionals is enough to do a 9th grade. So I think there's further discussion to be had here. I look forward to getting those answers, but I don't have those answers in front of me right now. So I don't know how we're expected to move forward on this when we don't have those answers yet. I'll yield.
Yep.
Mike pretty much said what I had wrote down. Aaron had mentioned that Casey and Tony were on board with this. I would like to see that in writing, because I'm not going to prove anything until that's in writing. And my other thing was, can we fund 2 high schools? And he pretty much covered that right there with the Malcolm, because a lot of our students that, some of the students have never went to JKL, so they're not going to have that shoe-in for a high school, to go to the high school, because they never were picked in the lottery to be in JKL or didn't meet the requirements of having a sibling or whatever from the get-go. So when the high school comes about, the ones that are already in JKL, I'm assuming are going to go right into, and then the other ones are going to be a lottery. Is that how it goes, like with the lower
Yeah, that's our
grades you
legal
do?
process,
Yeah.
yes.
So, it's, we're still going to have students going to Malcolm. And I don't want to see that not get funded, because Malcolm has been such a big part of everybody's life from the 70s. I think it's the late 70s when it opened as alternative. But Mike did say what I had to say about, I had wrote down about the ISEP dollars in the Sioux area schools. So that's my concerns on it. If we could get approval in writing, that's what I want before I'm going to approve going ahead. Because I want to make sure it's going to be good before we say yes.
Austin.
Thank you.
So I am overwhelmingly supportive of this, and I want to let you guys know that last year when I was in Washington, D.C., advocating for our tribe on Capitol Hill visits, I attended a meeting with the director of BIE, Tony Dearman. It was attended by several of his staff, and we talked about possibly expanding into a high school and figuring out whether or not that would be a possibility, of which it is, because the original application lists high school. So even though there's a moratorium on building new BIE high schools for tribes, the Sioux tribe is allowed to have one because their application, which was approved, contains a high school. Like, you don't need to look any further than that. Look at our application. It says high school. It was approved. If anyone wants to attend the next Capitol Hill visits I have in Washington, D.C., I would welcome that, and we can schedule another meeting with Tony Dearman, and he can say the exact same thing. So I appreciate the work that Malcolm does. I am one of 5 siblings. 2 of my sisters attended Malcolm. But at the end of the day, I'm tribal first. And I appreciate everything we do for Malcolm. But the truth is, we don't have a lot of Sioux tribe members that attend Malcolm in 9th or 10th grade. It's usually at the later stages of their high school career when they're attending Malcolm for credit recovery. So that brings the question, why is the Sioux tribe sending 6 figures to Malcolm for support for Sioux tribe members in 9th and 10th grade when we can count on one hand how many Sioux tribe members are there? So we have a responsibility to provide the best education for our tribal citizens, and we know that they have a more difficult time graduating high school. All the statistics state that. There's no downside to the Sioux tribe creating a high school. We have a K-8 school at JKL. It's run by Superintendent Dr. Dale, who's a Sioux tribe citizen, and who does a wonderful job, which is evidenced by a very long wait list, which is occupied by tribal citizens and non-tribal citizens alike. I tell people all the time that JKL is one of the shining stars of the Sioux tribe, and I'm confident if we construct a high school, that will be an additional star. So I'm supportive. I don't see any downside. At the end of the day, I would love to continue helping Malcolm. And I think we can do that, but I think our priority needs to be towards our students in a facility that's owned and operated by the Sioux Tribe through the charter, which is ran by a superintendent who's a Sioux Tribe member, you know? So that's my position on it. If we need to get writing from Tony Dearman, or if you guys need to come with me next time I go out there, we can arrange that as well.
Aaron?
Rob.
Is Rob up?
Yeah,
Hey, Rob, you got your hand up?
then I'll go next. He couldn't figure out how to do it.
No, my hand wasn't up.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right. So I'll do this as professionally as I can. First of all, I have a doctorate degree in education. I'm a Sioux Schools failure. I failed out of Sioux Schools. But I have 3 master's degrees and a doctorate degree, and my expertise is in education. I did the original assessment where our tribal members, Sioux Tribe members, prioritized having our own high school. And part of that is because they were not satisfied with Malcolm. Malcolm is a lot better today than it was then, but our tribal members indicated that they want our own high school. So this board here is the JKL Fiduciary Board. We're made up of Sioux Tribe board members only, and our oath of office as Sioux Tribe board members is to represent the interest of our Sioux Tribe members. And we know that 82% of the tribal members indicated support for our own high school. This body here is the JKL Fiduciary, which receives the funding from the BIE for the purpose of operating the Joseph K. Lumsden School. Our constituency, therefore, is the students at the Joseph K. Lumsden School, not the Sioux Area Public Schools. Our funding that we received is for the JKL school. When I couldn't convince the fiduciary to support a high school about seven years ago, we took the next best option, which was to support Sioux Tribe members that go to Malcolm. And when we explained that to Tony Dearman, Tony was reluctant to do that because it is not our own high school consistent with our application. And we moved forward, and he essentially looked the other way, and he supported it. But at that time, he indicated, we expect you to have your own high school. If we need to get that in writing, and this is not new information at this table either. We've talked about this for years. In the past, we haven't had support to expand because we had a former Sioux Area Public School Board member on the JKL Fiduciary, and we have immediate family members that work for the Sioux Area Public Schools. That's not our interest. Our interest is the students and the parents that attend Joseph K. Lumsden School, not the public schools. But we know that a lot of our students attend the public schools, so we have to have that relationship, and it is a good relationship. It hasn't always been good. We've had to fight to get it to where it is today. It is in our interest to have our own school. This is what we said we would do. This is what we promised the tribal members that we would do. And we could probably say, this current board could say, well, I didn't promise that. You know, somebody else promised that. But our founders, who established our own school, had the full intent. The other thing is, when we voted to do the 2-year plan with Malcolm, with the public schools for Malcolm, I voted for it conditionally because when we talked about it, we all understood at that time that it wasn't going to be a threat to Malcolm, that we would be able to do both. I would not have voted for a 2-year agreement with the public schools if I knew we were going to renege and back out of. Now, this notion that we don't have enough information, several people don't attend all the meetings, so maybe people aren't fully apprised of what the plan is. Our superintendent, who's a tribal member, who also has a doctorate degree in education, has presented a full and complete plan to us. We have all the information we need. When we open the school, or when we post that we're going to open the school, there will be a lottery. No, not a lottery. There will be a sign-up. There will be a sign-up. We always have 40%. Every time we've done an expansion, we've had 40% more interest than we have slots. We will fill that school. We will have the revenue to do that and not put at risk Malcolm. So over the years, I have been supportive of Malcolm in my communications with the BIE director as an extension of what we do at JKL School. The agreement is with the tribe, but it's in partnership with the JKL School. If we're not going to do that, then I don't support continuing to move our funding over to Malcolm School. I think we should continue doing it because they are an essential part of our education system. Another thing is that 50% of our school-aged children in this community, of Sioux Tribe school-aged children, go to JKL. That is our constituency. That's what this board exists to represent, not this area of public schools, this population. I'll stop there, but I just have feelings about advocating for an interest that's not the JKL students while you serve on this board. We have all the information we need. We've demonstrated that it's going to be economically solvent. And also we have an agreement I have an agreement with the director of the BIE, Tony Dearman. I went after and sought the funding after years of the BIE saying that we wouldn't get that funding. We have a clear understanding from Tony Dearman, and if we have to put it in writing, we're just going to delay a couple of months until we get that communication from him that they're supportive of it. And also the charter entity, and Carolyn can attest to it, we're not lying to you. We can attest that we have that support. Our school has performed to the point where the state charter funding and the BIE funding are willing to invest in our future. We at this table should be willing to invest in our future and our children who attend that school. I have a child that I'm raising right now that attends that school. He's in 6th grade. I don't want to delay 2 more years, so the question is whether or not he will be able to go to JKL High School. There's no reason to delay this any further, and I abhor that this effort is happening to try to stop this process. We have everything we need. We have talked for at least 4 months on this, and we brought back information based on requests from this board that we have satisfied that information. All of that information is available. If you haven't looked at it, I apologize for that, but we have everything that we need to move forward, and our interest is the students at that school and our parents who have expected us to expand to a high school, not delay it another 2 years or another 2 years. It's 30 years in the making. Next year will be 30, no, we're beyond 30 years, aren't we? We're
This
32
year is
years.
30.
So it's time. There's no more stalling. There's no good reasons, only excuses at this point.
Okay, I have Kim, Bridget, and Mike, but before clarification, was probably, 2 months ago that you came in with the study? You went around with facilities and checked out a bunch of different buildings, right, Carolyn?
Yes, this actually started November a year ago, so
Yeah.
that would be, we're about month 12.
Originally, we were looking at the school, but it wasn't conducive, so we have we'll have a bunch of vacant buildings come up here shortly when the NDR moves in there to their new facility. So my understanding, and I think anybody that attended your presentation would understand that it was the old police station courthouse, the old enrollment area.
Correct.
That hasn't changed.
No,
Okay.
has not.
Hey, Josh. one other
Isaac,
quick-
let me-
Yep, just a second, buddy. One other clarification. Can you find out if that agreement can be used for 11th and 12th? Because we're currently paying for 11th and 12th graders at Malcolm.
That's correct.
Because the high school is only asking for 9th and 10th. Is that correct?
Ninth grade, 25 students at this time.
Yeah, 9th grade. So we're not, I don't see how we're doing anything with any agreement.
they're
But
looking the other-
anyways, Kim, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't hear one person say they were not in support of the high school. We are asking for an approval in writing before we start anything. And Aaron, you said you're the one who made the agreement with Tony. When do we move on stuff with one person saying we got an agreement from someone? We need an approval in writing.
Point of
and that's what
information, Kim, I
I'm
think we
saying.
did that when we signed the agreement with Malcolm. How could we do that?
Hold on a second. I would give a point of information that the permission was in the original application that listed 9th through 12th grade.
So Josh, do we need approval in writing to start a high school, or are we just going to go ahead and do it?
I would prefer approval in writing.
I mean, nobody here has said they're not
So we don't have.
they're not in support of it, and the way you guys are talking makes it sound like we're not supporting it.
Point of
And we
information,
are supporting
point of
it.
Information for legal, do we have
Good
a
God.
current agreement to provide 11th and 12th grade funding at Malcolm? And I know the answer, so.
I know, but don't make it sound like we don't approve of it.
if we
That's
don't
what
have
it
an
sounds
agreement,
like,
we
and we're
can't
not
fund
trying to
Malcolm High
stop
School.
it.
Malcolm 10th and 11th. If we don't have a written agreement, that's the argument you're making, we can't continue funding it.
All right, well, I'm just saying we need an agreement from Tony, and I've never seen it from Tony or Casey. You're saying you made an agreement with one of them.
I'm saying I got them to commit to funding it
Well, then let's
consistent
get that in-
with our application.
Let's get that in writing then.
do
That's
have
what
it
I
in
want, well, then let's see it. I want to see it. Not one person here said they weren't in support of the high school. We're just asking questions,
May I make a comment?
and that's what I'd just like to see.
Sure.
No, I'm good. I just wanted to point out that we are in support, but it's being made to sound like we're not.
Bridget?
Yeah, along those same lines as Kim, it's not about who the smartest person in the room is or how many degrees you have. And nobody said they're against a high school. If it's all so easily about people saying we
Objection.
can get
Impugning
legal
other
opinion
board members'
or,
intent is inappropriate and out of order. Objection. Ask her to make her statement without being objective.
Yeah, let's keep it clean here. Let's get through this. This is for the kids, right? Let's act like something a little bit better than the children. Go ahead, Bridget. Can't hear you.
Okay, so the point is people are asking to see it in writing or a legal opinion. It shouldn't be that difficult if everybody has already made contact with Tony. So, and Josh sounded like he wanted it, so I'm not going to vote for something unless I see either a legal opinion or something in writing as well.
So
Not that I don't support it, so,
Bridget, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Did you see agreement when you signed, when you approved the Malcolm School agreement? She was part of the board, though.
9th and 10th grade were.
I had to go to the board. No, you didn't, right?
I can't tell you one way or another, Isaac. I don't remember everything I do, but I am able to say what I want today. Thank you very much.
I know you are. Mike?
Just for the record, I don't need a thing from Tony Dearman. My question was about the two agreements. And I'm hearing now that we're willing to just forego the other thing now, and we should concentrate on just members. And if that's the case, that's fine. But that's not what we agreed on to last month. Last month, we entered into another agreement for a 2-year contract with Sioux. So my problem isn't with you needing, I know what the application says, I want to move forward with the high school. If these were the concerns, then we shouldn't have went into that agreement for a 2-year agreement, period. And so now, but now we're backtracking, we're going to say a lot of different other things. And as far as the buildings go, yes, there was discussion on Andier, there was discussion on Chippewa Service, there was discussion on 5 different buildings. So it sounds like we settled on one, but we also aren't taking into consideration why the National Resources Department left, why enrollment left, because those buildings were in disrepair. I see that we have $10,000 for fixing those buildings, but we did estimates on them being there, and it far exceeded $10,000. And their rent wasn't $1,000 a month. So I'm not seeing where we can financially fix those buildings enough up to put a whole 9th grade into those 2 buildings. And I don't even know how, with 2 buildings, but only 2 teachers and an admin with paraprofessionals, you wouldn't even need the 2 buildings. You only need 1 because you only got 2 teachers teaching a full 9th grade. It was discussed here that we have a huge plan, but we don't. You already said it was a concept plan and a draft, and we still have a lot of work to do on this as far as I was concerned too. So, because part of this is virtual. We're doing a hybrid. It says right in here, hybrid system. So I'm not trying to be restrictive in trying to make this difficult. I'm not. I want a good plan moving forward for a high school, and we should have devoted money to build a high school. And that's the direction we should be taking. We should be taking that direction. I think spending money on these little buildings that aren't going to be the long-term solution is not the answer. That's money that could be used towards building a high school. That's the direction. But it's going to be said that we're trying to do this and trying to do that, and it just got stated that we're not supposed to impugn, but it's being impugned that we're trying to do this. I'm not trying to do this. I want a high school. I want it done the right way. And I don't think we should have went into an agreement knowing that we were not going to fulfill that agreement, because we can't do both. Maybe we can. I doubt it, though. And so I don't see where $10,000 is going to be enough to finish making these buildings appropriate for having ninth grade students in. I don't think $10,000 is going to get those buildings up to snuff for BIE codes and whatnot. So I'm just failing to see why we're going in this direction when we could be devoting our time and trying to figure out a real plan of building a high school. But instead, we're doing this. So I yield.
Carolyn?
I would like to mention that I agree with many of the comments here, but this is not instead of building a school. This is a temporary solution so that we can get our students on the right path and learning. And this is a 3-year plan so that we can build a permanent structure. We have looked at the buildings, and Mr. Thorne, your facility manager for the schools, has looked at the buildings. We've walked them extensively. We bring our tech people through. This plan has gone to Dr. Sosi, who is my immediate supervisor in the Bureau. She has actually gone through the plan, which is a draft only because it's not approved, not because it's unfinished. And she's made her comments, which I've embedded. And also, as far as a hybrid, that's just something that we're not used to. That doesn't mean that kids are home learning. That means that they're at school, and we're using satellite or online services to bring some of those really cool processes into the school for the students. So that's what hybrid means. It doesn't mean that it's an online or virtual school by any means. And as far as having 2 buildings, that's just so that we can have a little more space for things like hydroponics, have a little courtyard, make it a little campus and safe. We know who our neighbor is because it would be ourselves, and it makes it really safe and all-inclusive space. So I just wanted to respond to some of the comments that, I'm trying to be very understanding and look at all of the information needed. And if there's any other information that I can give you or answer, I'd be happy to do that.
Austin?
So is anyone willing to disclose on the record how much we send to Malcolm each year? Anyone, just unmute yourself and say it. I don't care who it is, whether it's staff, whether it's JKL staff, whether it's a board member. Aaron, how much we send?
We clarified at last year because the numbers they shared with us was that there was 1 Sioux Tribe member funded in grades 9 and 10. That's the agreement we have with the BIE. Somewhere along the line, they started billing for 11 and 12. But as of fall of last year, we only had 1 Sioux Tribe member in grades 9 and 10, and there was a whole bunch in 11 and 12. So when we insist on seeing this agreement that provides funding, it's going to show from the BIE that we do not have an agreement with the BIE for grades 11 and 12. So bringing that up is putting at risk the funding for Malcolm grades 11 and 12.
How much is sent?
How much? So approximately, well, it breaks it down to about $200,000 per grade level when we receive the funding, if you have the number of students. And I think what happened was they were not getting the number of students in grades 9 and 10, so they started counting grades 11 and 12. But it's about, if you have a full classroom at each grade level, it's about 200 to 250 depending on their needs and title funding as well. So it can amount to about $1 million for grades 9 through 12, if you have full
Okay.
classrooms.
Did everyone hear that? One Sioux Tribe member in 9th through 10th, and you send over 6 figures over per year. I have no issue with Malcolm. Malcolm does a wonderful job. It helps a lot of students finish high school. I had 2 siblings graduate from Malcolm. You know, it's done a lot for my family. But at the end of the day, my priority is the Sioux Tribe families. And if we construct a high school, even a pilot in 9th grade, which again, this is a pilot. We're not talking about the finished high school, and we've had a lot of meetings to talk about this. So I'm surprised that people aren't knowledgeable about this. This is a pilot case, 1 classroom to see if it works, which I'm convinced it will. So sometimes it's a good idea to start small before you build an entire high school to see if it's going to work out. I believe it will because JKL has worked out. But I'm surprised that people don't have a problem sending money from the Bureau of Indian Education to a school for an agreement through 9th and 10th grade when you have 1 kid there, right? So I'll ask again, is anyone aware of an agreement, you know, from the BIE that says that we can send money to Malcolm? Because if you're not, then why are you requiring that to build a 9th grade at JKL? No one's seen that. You know, you have a signed agreement. It's called the original contract. It goes all the way through 12th grade. You know, anyone can go with me to DC next time. We can schedule an appointment with Tony Dearman just to go over that contract. And I mean, it puts us at a unique position because I hope everyone listening to this hears this. Tribes cannot start high schools right now. There's a moratorium on it, but the Sioux Tribe can because it was in that original application. So why are we standing in the way of this? So, Carolyn, do you have anything in writing? Like, what is your opinion on this? Like, you have a doctorate in education, my God.
Well, I do have a copy of the original contract, and I've had many conversations, and I have emails from Casey Holder. I'm sure he wouldn't mind putting it in writing. That's a process that I'll have to go through to have the chartering agreement extended, which he's very happy to do. We just talked about it at our last board meeting, in fact, with Bill Pistolka. So they are very much in favor, and the fact that Dr. Sosi has gone through the plan and done her revisions and given her input, you know, there is an original contract. I don't know, you know, if you get another agreement that replaces essentially the original contract. I don't know if that's something that the tribe should do. Whether or not you decide on this or not, I'm a tribal member, and I want to protect your interests, and I would not do that. I would not get another agreement that then usurps the original because it's very strong and you'll never see it again.
Okay, and the last thing I want to say is everyone knew that this vote was coming. It was no secret. So if people were holdouts for certain reasons, like they need something spelled out in writing, the time to get that wouldn't have been today or let's postpone this and just punt it down the road. It would have been being professionals and requesting that at a previous JKL meeting and stating, hey, I want to support it, but I need to see it in writing. And then we could have gotten it spelled out. But again, Sioux Tribe leadership has been in Washington, D.C. and has exercised our government-to-government relationship just to go through the contract and to make sure we're still able to do it, and we are. But if we need it in writing, it's going to say that exact same thing, and we can do that. We really can.
Hey, Bridget, did you have your hand up?
Sorry, forgot to take it down.
Okay, I have Aaron and then Kim.
All right, I'm going to try a different, calmer approach.
Yeah, calm down.
I'm going to start with the fact that we have one of the best tribal schools in the nation. It's something we should all be proud of and should be lining up to support. The quality of our education versus the local public schools. The reason why we have our own school is because of the quality of education in the local public schools. When we first started down this path, they used to brag about how many people they were graduating, but when I asked a basic statistics question, proportionately out of how many come into the system, make it out the other end. And they were proudly presenting that we were improving when the stats showed they were not. They were decreasing. The graduation rate was dropping for Native American students. We did a study with Michigan State, conducted a study, the tribe paid for 2%, and it demonstrated that the public schools, Sioux area public schools, were only graduating 47% of our student population. They were tracking to non-college prep at a rate of 3 times that. That means that our students weren't good enough in that system, and they were pushing them to not go to higher education or additional vocational education. That's an independent study that was conducted by Michigan State University. If you look at the quality of our education versus the public schools, it isn't even close. We are an academy of excellence. And again, why we shouldn't be lining up behind that and supporting it. And as our chairman said, and our chairman here has methodically for the last 5 months moved each meeting, each step, and answering all the questions and bringing all the information forward, and it's been presented. So if anybody is at a loss for understanding this proposal at this point, and I don't want to impugn anybody, but I personally don't understand, and it's not just because I have a graduate education. I read all the materials, and I know that we are ready to take this step. This idea that we're not ready, that, that we should be waiting for a couple of years, that argument was made. And what our superintendent just explained is a proof of concept approach. Now that, she knows that I'm not excited about that because I feel we're ready to get going. But that proof of concept is about a 2-year, 3-year planning process. We have to take the first step. We have to commit to taking the first step. We're not going to open a high school tomorrow, or maybe not even next fall. I think we could. That's my druthers and my preference, because I don't want to wait another year for 8th graders to end up having to go to the public schools, because that's less than. I'm not going to say they're deficient, but it's less than if we educate our own students. As far as this argument, this kind of suggestion that I'm out trying to get approvals independently of this tribe, I was chairman of the tribe at the time, and the tribe knew fully well what I was doing, and the fiduciary knew fully well what I was doing when I reached out to Tony Dearman to get that approval. In fact, those who showed up, and I think that's everybody at this table, those who showed up when Tony Dearman visited for the gymnasium ribbon cutting, we had this conversation with Tony Dearman, and we talked to Tony Dearman about doing our own high school. When we presented the alternative notion for Malcolm, he wasn't very happy or excited about it, but he said he would go with it, with the understanding that we were going to open our own high school as soon as possible. That's about 4 or 5 years ago now. So this notion that we didn't know about it, or that I'm out talking to Tony Dearman separate from what the fiduciary or the tribe knows, that's not true. Tony Dearman met with us at the JKL school after we did the tour. We got a beautiful photo op and a picture with Tony Dearman in front of our middle school and our gymnasium, or it might have been just a gymnasium at that point. And so it's not something that this body doesn't know, because they know this has been our plan all along. Malcolm was an interim temporary arrangement, but the good news is, through this process in the last several months, we have found out that we don't have to pick one or the other. It's clear that we can provide funding for Malcolm while we're also doing our high school. We're always going to need Malcolm, because our education system is going to be an academy of excellence. And so let me clarify what that means, because it might sound like, well, my kid's not going to make it in that system, right? Because it's an elite system. It's not. We have a reverse response to intervention approach. We have a special education approach. We teach each child at our school as if they have an individualized plan, and we cater the plan to meet their needs. So no matter where they come to us, their background when they come to us, we make them excellent students. That's our proof. We've done that. So I don't understand, and I do get passionate and upset that this has been stalled for 32 years. And it's been stalled another 5 years since we talked to Tony Dearman about what our plan was going to be. And so I don't know. I think we have everything that we need. I'm ready to vote on this today. What we're voting on today is approving the plan going forward. What our superintendent will then have to do, the curriculum has to be adapted to that grade level. The planning, the construction, that's about a 1 or 2 year time period, or up to 3 years, as our superintendent has said. But we can't go forward and take that step until we take the first step. That's what we're being asked to do today. One final thing, and the reason why I approached, and the board knew this because I talked to them about this, the tribal board. about the virtual education, and this is before the pandemic, before we knew that it was really possible, is I asked if I could reach out and talk to Casey. Casey's our charter officer, and Bill Pastalka is the guy who does compliance and visits. And we talked about outreach to other units. As long as we can write that into our BIE approval, we can do it. They can be considered JKL students in Sault Ste. Marie with virtual outreach to other units. That means Unit 2, Hessel, Nobbinway, Newberry, St. Ignace, Manistee, Escanaba, Munising, Marquette. So all of those students who are not making it through the system right now, we don't have to wait any longer. We can provide the education curriculum for them to be part of our system. Not next year, probably not the year after, but eventually they can be part of that system. And I did that because Lana and Catherine and other board members were not satisfied that we weren't doing anything for them. And originally we were told we couldn't because our charter, not our charter, our approval for BIE school is here. But we got a tentative agreement with our charter entity, and we have that same agreement with, not in writing yet, with the BIE, because we now know it's possible. The pandemic proved to us that it's possible, although we'll do much better than what we saw during the pandemic, right? And finally, and I haven't not wanted to have this argument in public, but when we make the argument that Malcolm should get that funding, Austin, our chairman, made a really good argument, is the agreement only includes the original agreement only included 9 and 10. Malcolm started adding students that were not 9 and 10, not consistent with the agreement. But because we support Malcolm, we haven't made that an issue, because we support them. Bringing that up as a point of argument is putting that funding at risk. So if we find out that we don't have an agreement with the BIE to provide funding for 11 and 12, then the same board members making that argument should also agree that we should no longer provide grade 11 and 12 funding to Malcolm. I won't agree with that because I think that we're already doing it. We need to continue doing it, and I support doing that. And again, finally, my agreement with doing the 2-year extension to Malcolm, if we go back, I don't know if we record these, but it was based on the understanding that we were supporting our high school, that it wasn't one or the other, that we were doing both. And that's why I agreed. If I knew board members were going to renege, maybe saying what they had to say to get me to vote for it, I wouldn't have voted for that, because it's time for us to follow through to the Sioux Tribe members on having grades 9 through 12. No more delays. So, thank you.
Kim?
Okay, I did not hear anybody here renege
I got you,
on
Mike.
support of JKL High School, not once. And just because we ask questions doesn't mean we don't support it. I'm going to say that again. I had a couple questions. Once I ask the questions, then I'm accused of not supporting it. That is not the case. You know what I'd like to see, Isaac, before we vote on this? We meet again on January 13th, JKL meeting like this. Could we have a workshop the week before? Instead of just 1 hour with everyone here, I'd like to have a 4-hour workshop with the JKL fiduciary and Carolyn, if she could do it, swing it, and so we can get it right. And Josh says he would like to have something in writing, and that's what I want to see too. Not one person here did not say they don't support it. We're in support of it, we just had questions. And that's what happens when we ask questions, we're always accused of not supporting something.
If Josh has a
So-
copy of the original agreement, then he has a copy of it in writing.
Well, he said he felt he wanted
don't-
approval from Tony Dearman
We
in
do
writing.
not have a copy of the original agreement.
So, I mean, if he could get paperwork together, if,
No, I've looked since my hire, and I know we've discussed it because I had the original application, but in all of my files, I can't find the original agreement.
The application is the agreement.
Okay, well, I have the original application, I just don't have anything, approval after that.
so I'd just like to see a good workshop, everyone on board, and then bring it to the next meeting
So
for
what
approval.
questions do you want to see in that workshop? Because she's been here for a long time.
Well, it looks like we're going with the cop shop, right? That's the most feasible one?
Along with, along with the enrollment building, both buildings.
Okay, unless the enrollment building's been fixed up. When I used to go there for meetings, you would have grass growing through the,
No, it really is
Floor.
quite nice. Really, all it needs is paint and maybe some upgrades in the bathroom.
snakes in the
And
windows.
I believe you, and I have high standards.
Was.
I'm trying to project my vision, which is to have a two-building campus, because we're so far off-site, and I'm a real stickler for safety. I would like to have control of both buildings so that, I can keep the kids tucked into a small space where there's a courtyard in between. I know exactly who is there, who is in which buildings when, and that's really important to me.
Okay, and then this is temporary. Are we going to build a high school on the campus grounds? Is that our plan?
The plan is that you really need to walk the building with me, my board. Everybody needs to see the two spaces. Mr. Thorne and I, along with an engineer, have walked both spaces, but that is not our decision. That's your decision, along with input from my board, hopefully, working together. But there's two
Can I interrupt
spots.
you for a second? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing a architectural sketch
Yes.
of the proposed high school.
Did get those, yeah.
Yes.
So you've already seen that if you're on the board, especially if you're on the committee.
Right, but could we just have a workshop the week before?
Well,
our
we're
next
trying to
meeting?
get the questions that you want so you can make a valid decision.
First off, I'd like Josh to be able to say, yes, this is what we can do.
You would like our general
Right,
counsel to say
a legal
that. A
thing,
legal
to make sure
opinion.
it's right. That's my
Josh,
thing, it's not that.
can you do that? And can you also look at the original agreement with Malcolm to see if we're in compliance?
Right, and that's
Yeah,
another
we
thing.
can work on tracking down those agreements and
Okay,
giving a
that's
legal
two
opinion.
things, Ash,
There's
that we'll
two.
have on the agenda. What
Sounds
else?
good. And then I just want everyone to know, we're not supporting JKL or the high school. It just, every time someone talks, it makes it sounds like we're not. And I'm asking questions, I got a couple things, and if I think of something else, I will send it to you, Isaac, before the workshop, if we agree to doing that.
Yeah, just send them to Lana and Ash.
And I think
they'll
we'd have
put
a
'em on the
better group
agenda.
discussion if we could do it quicker than, this 1-hour agenda we have. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
Well, I guess I'm going to fall back on, it keeps getting asserted that we're not supportive if we don't agree. And so, again, I agree with the high school. We have a meeting. We have a meeting. We've discussed buildings, but we also discussed building options. And so then we settled on one, but we haven't sat down as a committee and discussed the final option. This is it right now. This is what we're doing. And I'm still, I guess I would have to, if we're saying that there's engineers saying that we can make those improvements, make it ADA compliant, and still be able to do it under $10,000, the bathrooms, the ramp outside,
Yep.
I will be astonished that we'll be able to do it for $10,000 because, as I said, we moved departments out of those buildings because of the conditions that they were in. That's public information. We built them a new building because the cost it was going to cost to refurbish them and make them usable for those programs, adults in those programs, was going to be too high. And now we're saying, no, they're fine. They only need $10,000, and that's somehow enough to build ramps outside, make the bathrooms compliant with because the BIE's got a lot of regulations. And so I'm failing to see how we're going to do it under. I think this is going to be one of those things that we are rushing it, we're going to buy it, and then we're going to pay for it after the fact, and it's not going to be $10,000. It's going to be a lot more than $10,000, and we'll be on the hook for having to make that compliant, which is fine if that's what we're doing, but to say that we've had discussion after discussion after discussion, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
We've had those building discussions, and they've said
No,
they had multiple
she's-
buildings,
she's-
and then we picked
Mike,
this building.
Just for a point of clarification, she has
Even on the
presented.
proposal, there was
she has-
other options on
she has
today's
presented it.
proposal, Isaac. There was
Mike, I
discussion on here
Mike, I
about-
was the school
You
board
probably have more
president for 10
meetings than I
years.
have.
All right, I object
Okay.
to both of this.
Yeah.
Well, Chair, he's chairing the meeting, he's
I can
not
still
waiting his
object.
turn.
I
Yeah.
object to this banter back and forth.
Yeah.
Understood.
Hey, Carolyn, I know you presented many times.
Well, I guess,
And like you said, it
On
started.
this
what?
building.
It
I had the
started
floor,
How
that's.
long ago?
Apparently, I can't have the floor with Isaac running the chair meeting, so.
I
You were
object to that
done
as well.
You shut your mic off, Mike.
I just turned it off, Isaac, because you're not even letting me speak. Okay.
We need to move on with the speaker list, Isaac.
Yeah, Austin, then Aaron.
All right, so I will state this. We did not move staff out of there because of the deplorable conditions of those buildings, and if that was the case, then that is on us. That is on us. We moved them out when we had ARPA dollars because those buildings weren't large enough to accommodate staff. Let's look at natural resources. How many buildings was natural resource in? They were in several buildings piecemeal, so that's number one. That's number one. And the excuse, well, we can't move them in there because we let those buildings rot, that's on us. And at the end of the day, if it costs money to renovate those buildings, we have an obligation to this tribal community to not let them rot and to fix them up, whether they sit vacant or whether JKL builds a high school in them. I'm sick of seeing rot. I don't know about you guys. I'm sick of it. So that's number one. Number two, there is a signed agreement. It's in the original contract. So if you guys want to go out to DC with me, we can have a meeting with Tony Dearman. We can get it in writing. Josh, I think you should attend it as well. I think Dr. Dale should attend it, and we can all sit down and we can hash this out. But I'm telling you, when we get the agreement, Kim, it's going to say that. So what I want to know is, what questions do we need? So if this is punted down to another meeting, what needs to be answered? So we don't get to that meeting and say, well, I'm not going to support this because I need this or that information. Let's get it all on the table. So number one, it sounds like we need to have some written statement from Tony Dearman to feel comfortable. And that's fine, that's fair. So let's get that. What else do we need from people? Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be supportive of a high school only if it doesn't impact funding to a public school. That's not our obligation. That's not the oath that we swore. I have heard that as a reason. I have. So what do we need, guys? Just unmute anybody. What do we need to have?
Okay, I asked the question if we could fund 2 high schools. Didn't mean I wasn't supporting it. My question was that, Aaron answered it.
Okay.
Good with that. So
Okay.
don't be saying we're not supporting JKL because of Malcolm. Aaron answered
You
my
want on the
question
list,
on
Kim?
that.
No, it's
Just said, go ahead.
it's fine. I want people to use my time, my floor, put it all out there. What do we need to be supportive of this?
Well,
Because at
first-
the end of the day, we swore an oath to Sioux Tribe members, and I know for damn well we'll have more than one student at a 9th grade that's operated by JKL.
Hey, just for clarification, if something should come up with the agreement with Malcolm School, we're only taking the ISEP dollars away. They still get state funding, so it's not like they can't operate. Yeah, so they still receive the funds. Aaron?
All right. So one thing I'm requesting is open transparency. Before we started, there was a discussion at this table that parents would not be allowed to attend this session if they were not Sioux Tribe members. There was a quick review of the code on whether or not parents of JKL students would be permitted to attend this session, whether they would be allowed in on the internet or whether they would be allowed in the audience. I find that abhorred because we're talking about the constituency, which is our parents and our JKL students. So I'm asking for open transparency, so for every step forward now, whenever we have one of those workshops, I want to be able to invite any parent that wants to attend, because that's who we represent at this JKL fiduciary level. And whether you're a tribal board or not, you are also obligated to represent all of the parents, not just the tribal member parents. And so one of them that there was a question about was a non-native parent of a tribal member. And there was an argument that they shouldn't be allowed to attend. That's crazy. I don't support that at all.
Point of
So-
information, It was the secretary that asked the question because she wanted to allow somebody in, and the whole board up here pointed to 96, Chapter 96, which allows non-members to participate.
That's correct.
At board meetings. So it's being alluded, though, Aaron, that there was a discussion taking place among it wasn't.
There was.
The secretary asked the chair what the rule was.
Yeah, and legal represented the wrong legal opinion on it.
And then we
you
found the
corrected
right
it.
legal, and we moved on. But
Right.
to sit here and say there was a discussion and it was we don't want transparency, it's a little misleading.
Okay,
And I'm just
so
making
I have the
sure we
floor.
have a
What I'm
point. I was just doing a
requesting-
point of information.
Yes, and what I'm requesting is that we have transparency going forward, that the parents are invited for every single discussion, no closed sessions, that they be invited to attend. So step one is the proof of concept. So this notion that we should fund this high school, I'd love to do that. We can easily do that because the model that we have done in the past is the tribe has financed to build expansion for our school. Then we've done a call for students, and we've had a 40% overage in the number of students that are interested. And we have been able to pay down the debt every single time. Why? Because JKL School, the superintendents, the staff, the parents, and the students are worth the investment. We have proven that with at least 4 or 5 expansions over the years. So we are not talking about some big risky venture that's going to cause a hole in debt for the tribe. We are proof of concept because of the quality of our school. Just finally, and I hope this is finally, I don't want to have to talk again, is I'm going to give an emotional plea. When we opened our school, one of the reasons I was excited to do the environmental scan is because I'm a failure of the Sioux Area Public Schools. I faced racism because I was brown-skinned in that school system. It wasn't because of my intelligence, because I went on to get additional education. I know somebody tried to impugn that a few minutes ago, but I got advanced education with the right opportunity. So when we had the chance to do our own school, giving our students the right opportunity means that they can be anything they choose. They can be doctors and lawyers. They could be machinists. They could be refrigeration and coolant. Whatever education or degree path they want to follow, they can succeed. The only thing standing in the way after 32 years is this fiduciary approving a plan to take that next step. I have several nephews and nieces that have gone to school at JKL, and they have been supported. They were gifted and talented. They were A students when they left 8th grade to go to the high school, and they failed Sioux Area Public Schools because it's big, because they don't have the attention to individualized students like we do, and to be fair, they don't have the resources that we do. We have those resources. They will never have those resources. The local voters keep voting down the millages, and I support and campaign to support those millages that don't come to us, they go to the public schools. But the fact that I've had so many nephews and nieces that have had potential, had the ability, were gifted and talented, that ended up dropping out of high school because that school system is just not structured for American Indian students. It's not. It never will be. Malcolm exists because they recognize that. They recognize that the general public school system will graduate certain students, but not all students. And I'm not going to apologize for my education. I am a high school public failure, right? And there's others at this table that graduated from Sioux Area Public Schools, but I didn't. And I'm more concerned about the rest of our people who also don't have the opportunity. I want them to have the best opportunity, and we should support that. We should support every Indian child in their education purpose. And the way to do that is to give them that opportunity through Joseph K. Lumsden School.
Seeing no other questions, I'm just going to make a few comments. Carolyn, first of all, I want to apologize for the banter. I didn't think it would be that difficult to just go through this. Ash, how many things do we have on the agenda for, I think it was only 2?
Written statement from Tony, and then the legal opinion and the original agreement with Malcolm.
Well, that surely ain't going to take 4 hours.
Request
I'd
for
probably
students
take
or
about,
Parents, yes. I have invite parents to attend the meeting, non-tribal parents of tribal kids.
I have a request. Can we make public comment at the beginning of the next JKO fiduciary meeting and just incorporate that moving
Yeah,
forward?
absolutely. Okay,
I guess a point of information there, if we'd say, I had a request, but this was a realistic budget for renovations. That yep.
One more thing, Isaac. Let's schedule a walkthrough of those buildings so we can see firsthand the condition that they're in.
yeah. I worked in them, so I know what they're like. So, I don't know if anybody realizes is, besides Carolyn and her staff, I think I'm the only one here that's got a lot of time invested in JKL Bowatting, right? I was the school board president for 10 years. I was a board member for a year, and I went to school when it was open concept there. So I got 20 years invested in JKL. And, you know, when it was open concept, they just put us in the building and said, hey, learn on your own, great.
So we're a public.
Have fun. If you're smart, you'll move on. If you're not, you won't. And it hurt our family. 3 of us went there, right? We suffered from it, and I think we just have to do something different. I mean, we have to really think about what's best for our Native kids, right? And I think there was a study a while back. I know when I was school board president, and maybe Carolyn, you can, you know, dig that up. The other thing, that study clearly showed that our kids suffered from 8th to 9th because they went into the public schools. Of course, there's a lot of other reasons why it happens, but I think the one is the social aspect, and they didn't get the one-on-one training like they should, right? Because the high school has a lot more kids and a lot less support staff. So I think that's that study. The other thing for the meeting, okay, will you please put together how many times we've talked about the high school? I mean, I know I was school board president, and we talked about it every year for 10 years.
Point of information?
We talked about moving the school out to Odenang at one time. So, I mean, it's been a long.
I'm going to get the attendance to who is here as well during these meetings because we have talked about it, and it's apparent that some people just hop on to vote stuff down.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep pushing this to the curb. I support the high school. I think it's beneficial. We're not taking anything away from Malcolm because they still can do 10th, 11th, and 12th. We're only asking for 9th grade, but people want to bring up roadblocks for whatever reason. But hey, the next meeting is going to be the 16th, right? 13th. So the 13th, and we're going to we'll come in at 8.
I was just gonna say for clarification, do you want to do the 4-hour workshop on?
No, we'll just do 2 hours. 2 hours is more than enough. I mean,
So
the
for the-
information's, I mean, I've seen it all. We've all seen it.
So for the 13th, do you want to do 9 to noon?
No, we'll just do 8.
Okay, if you do 8, Lana will have to come in like before 8. Can you do 8:30?
9 to noon.
9 to noon would
Okay.
be better.
I just thought we might have other
And then you
things
can
on
do
the
the
agenda
walkthrough that
for
day
the
too.
board.
Not on the 13th, you don't, no,
Okay,
The
we'll do
13th
that, 9 to 12.
9 to noon, okay.
Isaac, I'm also going to reach out to our legislative director, Mike McCoy, to set up a Zoom call with Tony Dearman and staff that need to attend it as well. That way, we can get the written permission, and he'll be available to answer any questions that we might have.
Perfect.
Mr. Chair.
Aaron?
I'd like to make a motion for the agenda item approving high school expansion plan.
Support.
It's on the agenda under 5B, approving high school expansion plan.
Why don't we wait until we get there?
Accountability, I want people to see where we're at.
Can you repeat the motion? It was muffled on my end, at least.
The motion is under the agenda,
Under new business.
5B, approving high school expansion plan.
Oh, thanks.
Point of information?
Got a motion, support, roll call,
I
please.
got a point of information.
No, there's a discussion. Mike can ask a question.
The resolution that we have doesn't have a dollar amount because it says enter dollar value here. It doesn't have a dollar amount for the first resolve. It doesn't have a building name for the second resolve. So if we're making the motion to approve this, we're just approving it as blank.
No, the plan is this full document here. It's inclusive of all of that. I don't know if you have it.
The reso refers to that plan, Aaron, but the reso also has blank in the building spot and it has blank in the dollar amount. So if we're approving,
Different than what you vote on at the board meetings, tribal board meetings.
the tribal board meetings have amounts, Aaron. I ask all the time.
How about
so-
this then?
wanna
Motion
do
to
it
amend the
blanket.
resolution to fill in the blank spaces with the document previously provided to us.
Got a motion and support. Any comments on the
Amendment.
amendment?
You can't table, you got two motions on the floor right now. So roll call, please.
Roll call. No comments? Roll call, please.
Austin Lowe's.
Yes.
Sean Borowitz. Leanna Cosley Smith. Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
No.
Tyler LaPlante.
Yes.
Bridget Sorensen.
No.
Larry Barbu.
No.
Michael McCurchy.
No.
Rob McCrory.
No.
Aaron Paymont.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee. Okay. 4 yeses, 5 noes.
That was the amendment.
So the motion to amend fails. Now we have to vote on the original.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Now can I motion to table? Yes, you can. Okay, motion to table until after the 13th meeting, or put on the 13th meeting. I'd like to get some questions
I'll
answered.
support that.
Got a motion and support the table. Roll call, please.
Okay. Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Leanna Cosley Smith.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Larry.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Aaron.
No.
Austin.
No.
Okay, motion stable. Okay, moving down, Malcolm High School, Sandy.
Goodness, that was a lot. So before I give my update, I do just kind of want to clarify a couple things, just so that everybody also that's going into the next meeting has a clear understanding of kind of how things came to be, kind of just going on what Aaron said. So yes, way back when I took this position as principal, excuse me, we still do have a high percentage of tribal students, several that weren't graduating. And so at that time, I met with the fiduciary board was very, it was a lot less numbers. I think there was 4 maybe on it at the time. And we did talk about how we could potentially use ISAP money to fund our students with a contract. And so at that time, Aaron and I believe Jen McLeod and a few others and I had met, and Terry, Dr. Dearborn maybe, came to our building. We did, he went through our building, and we thought, I was very excited and hopeful, and that had passed. But when we say like we only have a few 9th graders, that's, it is, but it's also a misconception. So the way we report in our building, like it might say in our system 9th grade, but credit-wise, I might have 5 11th graders who truly are at the 9th grade status. And we're allowed to count them because it's credit-wise. We take the approach that if I put them as 11th graders, their mindset's gonna be like, oh, I'm 11th grader, not a freshman. But at that time, and then this whole contract is supplemental. So will Malcolm High School be okay without the additional funds? Yes, it has always ran. This is something that we use to absolutely supplement anything we're doing. It has been extremely beneficial. I am so appreciative of the funding, so thank you all for approving it year after year. We do a contract up to $200,000. There's been many years that I don't spend that. One, I'm super paranoid about spending federal dollars, and so everything I do, like when we said, the contract says like 9th and 10th grade, believe me, I would just never add 11th grade without approval. Tom Miller was our liaison for a very long time, and anything I've ever done, I've approved through him to say, yes, you can add the 11th grade, yes, you can count them this way. So I don't want anybody to think that myself or Sioux Schools has done anything that has not been in writing somewhere that has allowed us to do that and spend the money the way it's set to be spent. So I just wanted to clarify that, because like I said, we are very fortunate to have this contract. I'm hoping we can continue. Do I want to see a successful high school for tribal students? Absolutely. I've said before, that's my passion. The only thing I wish, I think more than anything, is that we could support all tribal students no matter where they are, whether they're JKL, Sioux Schools, Marquette, wherever. It's just kind of a flawed system sometimes, because there are kids that benefit from it and kids that don't. And I think that's always been probably just my personal issue with having a lottery at JKL. And I get that's legal. It's a public school academy plus a BIE school, so you have to do that. But there are a lot of tribal students in our community that don't get the opportunity to go there. As far as I'm going to agree with Aaron, you have one of the best schools probably in the nation when it comes to, just your elementary school and what you're allowed to do. And again, it's resources. My other big fear, and we see that sometimes here at Malcolm, and one of the reasons that I think maybe Aaron mentioned is when students leave JKL, because it's a small environment and they get to high school, and our high school is big, sometimes that's a hindrance to them. And we even see that at Malcolm, we send kids off to colleges. It's hard because they're prepared, but they're not prepared. And so those are some of the things we've been working on here, is when we are so supportive and so helpful, and we send them off into Grand Valley and everywhere else, and they don't have that sense. Even for me, I've been to several big schools. Bay Mills Community College is by far my favorite, because that's me, it's personable, and I flourish there. And so those are just some things, like I said, just to kind of, I wanted to clear up, just so that you guys know how the funding came about. What we use it for, like I said, is 100% supplemental. And so I don't know if anybody else has any questions about that. I just wanted you to know kind of like the timeline and sequential how that was.
We do have one question from Austin.
So Sandy, could you break down the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and 12th grade population, not based on credit, just based on years that they've been in high school? Like, how many 9th graders do we have, true 9th graders?
So like enrolled right now of freshmen?
Yes.
Tribal?
Sioux tribe,
gosh,
not
we-
tribal, Sioux tribe.
I would have to do a little bit of digging, because it has, since that last report I gave you, we enrolled our second quarter, so numbers fluctuate a little bit. And that's kind of the thing that happens at Malcolm. I might start the year with 2 freshmen, and then by third quarter, I might have 7. So it just, and you see that a lot, because that's their true start, right? Like, and we do encourage students to try to start at the traditional high school. They have a lot to offer. Career center classes, those things, and then.
Well, what about this,
But then
Sandy?
sometimes it's a wait to fail model too,
So when was the last time that you tallied that?
That report I gave you, I can try to pull it up, but I'm always afraid if I touch my screen, I'm gonna log out of something here. When I met with you guys last month and I gave you those numbers, there's probably, I would say that's probably only 2 more freshmen. Now, as far as what.
So what were the numbers when you last reported them a month ago?
Let me pull them up real quick. Hang on one second. I just gotta put my screen over here. Sorry. Okay, so freshmen for, did I break that down like that? Okay, so we had 4 freshmen total that are enrolled like as freshmen, like credit-wise, we have more than that, but
And that's Sioux tribe members?
No.
that would be, yes, all of my freshmen are Sioux Tribe members.
Okay, what about 10th grade, true 10th graders?
10th grade, I have 6,
Okay.
and they are Sioux Tribe, 5 of 6 Sioux Tribe for 10th.
So we have 5 Sioux Tribe members in 10th grade. We have 4 Sioux Tribe members in 9th grade. What about 11th and 12th grade? Just true 11th and 12th graders.
Let me look. We have 11th graders, we have 11 of those, 9 Sioux Tribe, and then 12th grade, we have 14 and 9, looks like 9 of those are Sioux Tribe.
Okay, so 4 9th graders, 5 10th graders, 9 11th graders, and 9 12th graders. That ends up being 27 Sioux Tribe members. So thank you, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, I can't find how to get you guys back on here.
More question.
It's not a question. I just want to, in our fervor on this issue, I want to make it clear that I have every confidence in the work that Sandy does for our tribal members at Malcolm. We're always going to need Malcolm. Even when we do, and we will have a high school, even when we do have that and we're an academy of excellence, there's always going to be students that slip through the cracks. And Sandy has proven time and again her compassion and support for those kids. And she goes well beyond what a typical principal would do to get them to school, including driving them to school, finding resources for them, pitching in and helping finding temporary housing for them. And so none of my criticism of a public school system has anything to do with what I believe Sandy's ability and competence is to be. So, thank you.
Anything else, Sandy?
I mean, I could give you my monthly updates, but at the same time, I think we got a lot, you guys got a few more things. We had lots of things going on in November for Native Heritage Month. So we had some door decorating. We did Rock Your Mocks. We had a lot of students that made moccasins, attended Veterans Assembly. We have our group over today helping with the Elder Luncheon at the casino. And I want to talk a little bit about, we had 3 students that went to Lansing for our alternative ed leadership kickoff. And we had 5, actually. 4 of the 5 were tribal students. And I just wanted to say, as a tribal community, we should be very proud of them. They went down there and they led that conference. I had got raving reviews from several other teachers at the conference and principals and people that are there saying what a wonderful job they did. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them for representing not only Malcolm well, but our tribal community. And then I'm going to share a slide with you guys. I'm just waiting for it. The board meeting last night, they were doing a data study, and just the growth that we have at Malcolm over the last, 2021 until now has been huge. And so again, that's shout out to my staff for the work they're doing, but a lot of it is kind of what Aaron said, those post secondary options for our students. And so one of the positions that we did use some of our BIE money for was to do an academic advisor. And so Ms. Talentino, who is retired guidance counselor from Sioux High, took that position, and just the expertise she has working with MCAN and state funding for higher education opportunities has been instrumental in this building. And in the last 2 years, the difference of the amount of students we have just applying to colleges and leaving here with the plan has been huge. So I just wanted to point out the growth, both Native and non-Native students in this building is exciting to see. And then also my last thing is I just wanted to thank you guys for the food truck. My staff was really appreciative of that as well.
Thank you. Steph?
Ashley, do you guys have my report in your packet? Okay. All right, I know how tight we are on time, so I'll just touch on a couple of the main points here in this report. The first is we are waiting on a determination, hopefully by mid-December, on the MyLeap out-of-school joint application grant that we did with Lake Superior Academy. If funded, that will be huge. Lake Superior Academy, I think, will receive, if awarded the full amount, almost $230,000 for their school. And then for our YEA program, both after school and summer school, if awarded, we could receive $750,000, which will be huge, and that will be split between sites. So fingers crossed. I really want to thank Susie Schlehuber from Lake Superior Academy and Larry Jocks and Lisa Burnside for their assistance in that application. We've been working really hard on moving our program applications online. There's a lot of security, safety, testing measures with that, but we are working hard on that right now. I'm happy to announce, we're stealing her from you guys, but I have hired Ashley Mielke as our Assistant Education Director. So we're sorry, but happy as well. She's starting with us after the holidays on January 5th. We've been working really, really hard. Once Ashley gets on board, we'll be able to delve a lot deeper into our school outreach. One of the things in my monthly meeting last week with Amy Kronemeyer that came about was crisis management for our students. With the recent passing of a Sioux School student who was a tribal member and having tribal members within schools, how can we partner to provide more traditional healing and be more supportive of our tribal students across our Sioux schools, as well as looking at our students across the entire service area. So that's on my radar and something that I'm looking at, possibly talking to Cody Jodwin and partnering on providing more support in the schools for crisis management. We're also meeting next month on a possible partnership with after-school and summer school programming with Sioux schools. They don't have their Boys and Girls Club anymore, so that's one of our areas we're looking at as well. Moving into early childhood education. Now, in the report, we've had an update since I submitted this. I got an email from Chandra Jarvis, the manager, a couple days ago, and I am happy to announce that we finally have every single teacher position filled within our active classrooms and open classrooms. And I don't remember the last time that has happened. We still have a long ways, not a long ways, we still have a ways to go with some of the supervisory positions under her, the health coordinator, family service specialists, because she's taken on a lot of the brunt of that, as well as some of the teaching staff assisting in some of those duties. But that is so exciting because now we can look forward to, in the future here, hopefully opening those other classrooms. So that's really, really exciting and great, great news.
Hey, Isaac, can I say something?
Yes.
So Stephanie, how many classrooms would be open with that staff being full staff now?
The ones that we can open that are vacant?
That will be, yes.
Yep, so we have 3 vacant classrooms that can service 36 children that have.
36 students for
36,
each?
no, 36 total, 12 each.
Okay.
So we're under, yeah, so we could be serving those students and families.
Well, I want to say this, as a parent with young children, my children are in public school right now, but it wasn't that long ago that we utilized childcare centers. That's absolutely huge. That is absolutely huge. You know, there's a shortage of good quality childcare in this community, and it impacts people's job security. You know, if you're just using some random babysitter that is inconsistent and unreliable, you know, you only have so many sick days. So I applaud you and your leadership under this, Stephanie.
Thank you. It's not been easy, but we're getting there. Okay, higher education. So right now, there is no active grants or scholarships. I saw a post about that, so I wanted to comment on that. But we are opening by the end of this week both our fall 2025 self-sufficiency awards, which is our grades. So that will be posted for those that have eligible students who have received a grade of C or better, and that is for those attending universities across the country. And then also, correspondingly, almost at the same time, we will be opening our winter 2026 unmet needs grants. And so once those get pushed out, you will see, and we'll be intaking those. And that is, those will be due, both of those, at the end of January. We've been improving timelines, so we're really trying to get those out as early in the semester as possible, awaiting some of the financial information from the schools. I am looking at, I'm having our project specialist, Rachel McKechnie, really dive deep into additional funding and resources for our students for scholarships, since right now we don't have a TED funding for TED scholarships. So she's been working with Larry Jocks. They've really been researching on maybe some partnerships or foundations, different funding sources that we can have to provide more funding to our students. Other than that, the last couple of things I want to note is the YEA program is working hard in each unit right now for our tribal children's Christmas parties. And so those are beginning to take place. This weekend is the Sioux. I know Ashley probably has the dates of all of them. I don't have them on the top of my head, but they're working hard on that, and we're really excited about those Christmas parties. And then the Youth Leadership Conference, I just wanted to note as I end here, that took place through YEA. last month, and what a great turnout. So I pulled numbers, and we had 40 students attend in 2023, and we capped it at 100 students, and all of those registrations happened. And then our adult track, we had 15 chaperones attend last year, which was the first year. This year, bringing in Melissa Isaac and Michelle Sims from CMTED and IEI, we capped it at 50, and we could have kept going. And so the growth that we're seeing with this conference, potentially opening it up almost as like a mini Unity, right? And having more sessions and having people from, we have most of our students that attend that are from our service area, but really looking, we invited Melissa to bring some of her Mount Pleasant students up, but bringing them, even our at-large members downstate. So we're really looking to grow that. And I really, really want to give kudos to Lisa Burnside and her staff for the growth that we see there. So I'll end there because I know we're short on time.
Thank you. Kim?
Just a comment. I made it at the very end of that, and the excitement with all the students there was, you could feel it.
Yeah, they love Tribal Unite. They come in and they do such a good job too with the students.
It was good.
Hey, Steph, just one thing I want to point out. Hey, there's a big pond, not pretty, and it looks pretty deep over by the Big Bear. We might want to consider getting that fenced in, so. It's just past the playground there
Okay, that
to
would,
the right.
is that, Jess, is that, yeah, okay.
Can we forward that on to Dale Joseph, our safety officer, and he
Wow.
can make a recommendation on that? Yeah, and I imagine he'd want to fence it off. It's, you know, the child care center uses that,
Yes.
that playground, so it makes
Okay.
sense.
Concerned that if somebody should fall in, they might not get out, so.
Okay,
Kids will be attracted.
Thank you.
all right, thank you.
I have my hand up.
Tyler?
Steph, previously we've discussed switching to parent volunteers for stuff like the Unity Conference and things like that for the youth. Have you guys made any progress or considerations on that?
We did submit or put in for budgeting for that in the 2026 budget. We're really looking at with the tribal support if, you know, how we need to proceed with that. But yes, we have decided that we will budget for that.
Okay, thank you. So I'll look forward to that then.
I have a question on that. Dr. Dale, when you have staff supervised, do they get paid for an 8-hour shift or 24 hours? Like if you were to have staff that were to accompany students to Purdue University, would they get paid for 8 hours or 24, even though it's an overnight thing?
Exempt staff would be paid for 8 hours.
Is that industry standard?
Yes.
Okay, you guys all heard that then.
Thanks again, Steph.
Yep, thank you.
William?
Okay, I would like to start with Mr. Thorne giving an update on the projects at the school, real quick.
Real quick.
Just a quick announcement. So Isaac, after the JKL meeting concludes, we're expected to hear the following item, Child Welfare Committee. But due to this meeting lasting longer than anticipated, we're going to have that after the elder meeting at about 2 o'clock. So you guys can recess, you guys in the back for the Child Welfare meeting until then. Okay, 2 o'clock.
Okay, Johnny?
We have to, just so you know, we have to be at the elder side of things at 10:45, which is in 10 minutes, and we can't miss that.
All right, the big project, covered walkways, we've been waiting for. It's finally shipping Friday, and they're sending their crew up this weekend. They're putting that in on Monday. That'll probably be, I'd say, a week project, I'd bet. I'm not exactly sure. The greenhouses and pavilion, the Sioux Tribe got the bid. They had issues with them, so we subbed that out to Melport Construction, and they're currently building them now in their warehouse. And we'll get them on site as soon as they're done. The doors came in finally. We had issues with the closures on the doors. They just got the new closures. Those are going in Wednesday. We'll start Wednesday. That'll be I'd say a couple-week project. And out of the current 3, that's it for the year. They should all be done by the end of the year,
Hey,
hopefully.
John, I just want to thank your staff for, it looks like you're keeping up with the snow, even though we've been inundated with a lot of it. And I have a hard time keeping up on my driveway, so.
We're doing our best
Well, they
with
do
the
a good
equipment
job.
we have. Thank you.
And we had one more final item with the cafeteria.
We did, we had an issue with the cafeteria, that big project, where I don't want to blame anyone, but a pull-down safety door, fire door, was not installed over the serving counter. And we went over that numerous times. They kept saying it's not required. I looked into it. It is required. I called Josh on it. Josh helped me out, wrote me a legal letter. I sent it to UP engineers. And that took a while for them to finally agree to, in the contract states that any issues like this, they'll pay up to 19,000 something. So they sent the check to the Sioux Tribe. We have the 19,900 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So we'll have we had the RFP it out. Rudyard Overhead Doors got it. It was $31,000 for that door. So the 20,000 that they sent, or 19,000 they sent, Carolyn agreed to paying 5,000, and me and Bill agreed to pay the balance, and that will be put up. That's ordered, and that'll be put up during Christmas. Takes about 3 days, they said.
Awesome.
That was an issue that we've been dealing with, but it's finally corrected.
Okay, well, that will lead into a quick update from the financial side of the ARPA projects. Through November, I haven't sent this out yet, but I'm waiting for any final billings that we have. It looks like we have an excess of $21,000 before our share of the door. So we will look to move with any additional enhancements for the projects that we already completed to make sure that we spend all those funds. So other than I sent out the October financial statements a couple weeks ago, there's nothing really of note there out of the ordinary, and it looks like November is going to be along the same lines. So as soon as November is ready, I'll get those out.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any questions for Bill? Seeing none, I need a motion to approve the meeting calendar for 2026.
Motion.
We got a motion support. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
We got a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
All right, with that, we're in the workshop section. The first item that we have is the Elder Holiday Meal Lunch Break. So at this point, we're going to recess the workshop so we can attend that Elder Luncheon, and we'll reconvene at 2 o'clock with Child Welfare Committee, and then if we have time, executive reports. So see you guys then.